my channel. Today is a design with me tutorial. We are going to be designing return address labels, which I have learned are so easy and so much better to use when you're using the Cricut than trying to fit everything on those little pre-cut labels and stuff. So I'm going to show you guys how to design them, and you can either choose if you want them to be hand Cricut written or if you want them to be printed. So you can either print then cut, so you'd have to use a printer and ink, or you can handwrite them, so you'd have to use a Cricut pen or one of the pens that fits inside of the Cricut. So let's get going, and I hope this helps you. It really helped me during this Christmas season when I needed to do return addresses, and I was really dreading trying to format everything to those labels that are already cut. I just have a hard time with that. So let's get going, and click the subscribe button if you have not already, and find coupon codes as well as some other fun things that I use in the description box. So let's get going. Hey guys, welcome back to Design Space. I'm gonna show you guys how to make return addresses, which are so easy, and I've actually just done this now because I didn't even think about how easy this would be. So I'm just gonna start a new project in Cricut Design Space. We're just in design.cricut.com right now, and we're gonna click New Project. This is gonna open up our design space. And seriously guys, this is so easy because I was thinking about how hard it is to like align to the Avery stickers and stuff like that. So really all you have to do is type in your address, and there's a couple different ways that you could do this. You could make this so that it prints and cuts all of this, or you can make it so that it writes and cuts all of this. So if you want your addresses to look like they're handwritten, you could also do these bigger so that they're just regular addresses. They're not, but you would have to go in and do every single one. But this one is going to be easy because it's our return address. It's always going to be the same. So over here is where you're going to choose if you want to cut it or write it. And you just click this little scissors right here and you change it to write. Now you pick which pen that you're using. This doesn't change anything. It's just going to kind of tell you how it's going to look when you use these different pens. It's also going to prompt the machine to act like it's using this pen. So let's just say we're using this. You could also use like your gold metallics for this, but for this sake, we're just going to use our black 0.3 tip marker because we're going to be writing pretty small. And I'm actually going to be print and cutting. I'm just going to show you guys how you would write and cut. And then one of the things when you're writing that you want to do is you want to make sure that the font you're using is pretty good for writing. So under the fonts on Cricut, it'll tell you if it has the writing feature under it. It'll also tell you if it doesn't. So like this has multi-layer cutting and writing. So if we were to pick this and we were to set it to writing, it's gonna set it so that it writes specifically how it's designed to write. So if it's a one layer writing and it's the like this one and it has writing and you change it to writing, this is still going to do an outline of it, but there are some that are going to do just like the actual font. I'm just not sure which ones are going to do that, so let's try to find one. So like this one says single layer cutting. It doesn't mean you can't write with it. It just means it's not designed to write very well, even though this would probably write just fine. But I'm going to try to find one that has a single layer writing and it just writes the actual, so like alien. Let's see how that sets up to write. So if we set it to write, it still is going to do an outline, you can kind of see. But this outline is so thin that when it writes like this, it will look like it's one writing. So since I'm going to print and cut, I want to set this to print. Okay, and so that's going to set it to print instead of cut. We don't want it to cut, but I still want to change the font. I'm not sure I like this font so much. So let's just go, for teaching purposes, I'm just going to go with something really simple. And I'm going to actually, I do not like the spacing between the anti and the tay, and I'm going to show you guys how to kern in a different video, so I'm not going to waste my time doing that right now. Is there 2 spaces right now? Okay, there's not 2 spaces, but I'm going to take the space out just because I did not like how that looked. Okay, so we're super zoomed in right now. So let's get our address set up first, and let's just say we live at 7777 North Pole Avenue. Okay, I really do not like this font at all. I don't like the spacing in it. So I'm just going to change the font altogether just to something. I don't know why the spacing is being so weird on all these fonts. Let's see. Let's just pick I don't know why the spacing is being weird. So I'm gonna zoom out and I'm gonna show you guys really quick how to move these together. I'm gonna ungroup the letters and I'm gonna drag over these. This tutorial is turning into a font, working with fonts video, but at least you guys will know how to do this if you run into the same problem. Okay, so then I'm just gonna drag and pull them all together. Then I'm gonna drag that together and I'm gonna attach those back together. If that was crazy for you, make sure you check out my working with fonts video because I'll go into each little process I just did. Your fonts should not do that all the time. I don't know why I was doing that. You could also do this in a different program too and upload it as a PNG, but I'm showing you this all on Design Space. So let's say we live at North Pole Avenue and I do another line of Alabama or something. Let's say we live in Alabama. I know this is not how you do an address, but let's just say this is where we live, okay? So our address is done. We have it exactly how we look. We picked out our perfect fonts. They're amazing. You can set these to whatever color you want to print. So say I wanted to print this in pink. I'll just come over here to this little dot right here and I'll set it to pink. You can also set your perfect colors over here. And I'm gonna attach, these are attached. So since they're attached, I'm going to change Alabama to pink. So let's say we're going to do this. Now I'm going to drag over all three of these and I'm going to attach them and make sure they're all set to print. Let's make sure they're all set to print. So you can tell if it's set to print by this logo right here, right next to it. And I'm not sure why all this text, I'm going to weld all this. Let's weld it all so that it's one layer. And then I'm just going to set it to print. Okay, so now this is set to print and let's get our logo ready the size we want it. So say our shipping label, we want it to be about, I don't know, 1 inch by almost 3 inches. That's perfect, okay? So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a shape and I personally don't mind the square. Are you able to make rounded corners on the square? Let me see, I don't think you are. So I'm gonna do a circle. I wish there was a square with rounded corners, but I'm gonna do a circle and I'm going to unlock it and turn it into an oval. And I'm gonna arrange it and I'm gonna send it to back so I can make sure that it's the right size I want it. Okay, so you can do this with whatever shape. You can do this with squares, you could do this with whatever. So now that we have this to the position and the spot, or not the spot we want it, because this is just for designing purposes, I'm going to select these and I'm going to attach them. If you guys want to know the difference between attaching, welding, and slicing, just watch my attaching, welding, and slicing video and I go into all those details. But now we have this thing attached, and this, why we attached it is we're going to tell it that we want this circle to cut and this circle to print, or this thing to print, okay? So make sure that this is set to print, this is set to cut. This might seem like a lot, but after a while, you're gonna realize this is amazing. And we only have to do this one time. So now that it's done, and say, okay, our total size is 2 inches by 4 inches. To save space, let's make it just a little bit smaller, nothing specific. We're gonna go to make it. Now, here's where you're gonna choose how many you want. This is actually pretty big, so we're gonna do, let's see if we can fit 10 on one page. I have to do 100 of these, so I do not like that it doesn't fit sideways. Of course, if it would rotate itself, like how we could do manually, which you can apparently move these. I didn't realize that. That would be awesome if I could move these all together. But watch, when I go in to do like 15 of them, you can do apply. So you could do this manually. It's gonna go back is what I was gonna try to say. So I can move this here, move this here, move this here, move this here. You could do this manually if you really wanted to. And then let me see if I can do this. So you click here and you can choose to, okay, it doesn't work like that on here. So you, on other projects like vinyl, you can choose to move it to a different map. We're not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and resize this just a little bit smaller and see how that works. I want to do, see how many 10 can do. Okay, so it looks like I can probably fit, oh, it would be nice to be able to fit 3 across, but let's see if I can fit 15 on here, on one sheet. It's probably not. Okay, so no, it looks like I can fit 6, 12 on one sheet. That's not gonna cut it for me. So let's say I wanna do it, I want 3 across. Let's see how small we have to make it to make 3 across. Let's just do 3 just to see. Okay, so now I can fit 3 across, and I actually have a little bit more room. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. And let's see if we can fit 3 across here. Nope, okay. So let's go back to making it small again. I just click cancel to go back. And I'm gonna make it just a little bit smaller. Make it, let's see if I can fit 3 across again, apply. Okay, so let's see if I can fit, 10 up and down. I'm not sure about that. So 30, apply. No, so I can almost fit, I can fit 27. I can fit 24. I can fit 24 on one sheet, okay? So that's not bad. I only have to print 4 of these to get my 100. Well, I have to print 5 of these technically to get to my 100, but I'll have a lot left over. But, so that is just a fun and simple way. And of course, you don't have to do the circles. You don't have to do this big. You can do those. So all we would do is click continue. We would print them and then we would cut them. And so this will walk you through the next steps, but I just wanted to show you how to design return addresses because I was just about to do them for my patrons' letters, and I was dreading trying to do the whole Avery lineup thing. Oh, my maker's at the office, so it's trying to look for it, and we're at home today. But I was dreading trying to figure out the Avery stuff. So I've tried to do it before, and it just takes forever, but this seemed so much easier to me. So I'm gonna actually, what I would do is when I would send this to my printer, I would go ahead and I would print all 4 copies, okay? And it's only gonna print the letters. It's not gonna print those big ugly circles. It's just gonna print the letters. So you could do this on like a cute colored paper or whatever too. So we're just gonna print those. I'm gonna print 5 copies actually, so I have 5, and then I would just send it to my printer, which is at the office right now. So then it would just walk you through the next steps. Once you printed them all, you would load them into your machine, and then you would click cut, you'd select your paper, and all that. So I hope that that helped you guys with shipping labels. Obviously, if you're shipping to a bunch of different people, that could be a little bit different because you have to type out all of their different addresses. But for your return addresses, this is the way to go. And like I said, if you want them handwritten, that would be a fun way to do it too. You could just set it to handwriting, and then you can walk through how to use the pens in my how to use pens video. All right, I love you guys. Bye.